everyone, Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video about sincere intentions, or like how to have a sincere intention, how to purify your intention. I'm going to define what a sincere intention is and then talk about ways that you can make sure that you have a sincere intention, ways that you can make sure to remind yourself to have a sincere intention, things like that. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Najia. I post videos every Tuesday, and the general topics that I cover are usually something around self-improvement, mental health, and then I infuse my Islamic values into those conversations. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you'd be interested in seeing more videos around those topics. So I've mentioned this in previous videos, but it's important in Islam that when you're doing anything in your life, that you have a sincere intention. The intention is ultimately how you gain reward in your act. So when you have a sincere intention, that's how you get reward from your act of worship or from avoiding the haram. You need to have that sincere intention. So it's so important that we make sure to remind ourselves before we're doing something good in the religion that we have a sincere intention, what our reason is for doing that thing, or intention behind what we do. It's so important, because otherwise we won't be getting reward for our acts of worship or for our acts of obedience. We won't be getting reward unless we have that sincere intention. How do you define a sincere intention? A sincere intention is doing something for the sake of Allah and not for the sake of the people, meaning for the sake of doing what Allah ordered us to do, doing something that's rewardable in the religion, rather than for the sake of impressing people. We do it for that reason only. And also another thing to note, that like if somebody, for example, is like praying somewhere in a place where there's other people, or they're doing something good in the religion in front of other people, if their intention is both to gain the acceptance of Allah and to do what Allah ordered them to do, and also to impress people and to make people think that they're a great Muslim, etc., then having that dual intention doesn't help them. It doesn't garner them reward. Your intention, when you have a sincere intention, it needs to be pure. It needs to be simply the intention to gain Allah's acceptance. It cannot be the intention to impress people as well. You won't get reward in doing that. So that's another thing to just note, that you have to make sure that your intention is focused. It's one intention. It's not like these two intentions together. It won't help you. And it's also good to note that doing like an act of worship or something good in the religion with that intention in mind, with the intention of seeking praise of the people, that can be something sinful as well. So you can be committing a sin if you have that intention, and it's something that you should want to purify your heart of. I talked about this in my Islamic morning routine video. But there are ways that you can make everyday activities, like for example sleeping, or for example going to work or going to school, etc. Those are things that you can take them from being just like a mundane, ordinary thing to being a rewardable thing in the religion. And it all goes down to your intention, to like whether you or not you have a sincere intention. So I gave some examples in my morning routine video, but I'll just reiterate. So basically, like when you're sleeping, for example, you can make the intention that I'm going to sleep so that I have energy tomorrow to do more acts of worship, or I have more energy tomorrow to learn an extra verse of the Quran or something like that. If you have that intention, then simply sleeping can become rewardable for you. And same goes for like going to work. If you have the intention that you're going to take some of that money and give it to charity, like give it to poor Muslims, then just simply going to work and getting the money that you get from work can become a rewardable act rather than just something you do to live, for example. And there's so many other intentions that you can have, but you just kind of have to know what in the religion is rewardable and what in the religion is not rewardable, and then make a rewardable intention and a sincere intention. Also, another thing to note is that when you do correct your intention in whatever you're doing, whether it's like, you know, a good thing in the religion, like you're doing an act of worship or you're doing a sunnah thing, when you find it in your heart to correct your intention, you will find blessings in what you're doing. And the same goes for if you correct your intention in leaving out something that's haram, something that we shouldn't be doing in the religion. Again, you might find blessings in ways that you don't expect when you have that sincere intention. So for example, let's say that there's somebody who sells oils for a living, right? Like he sells olive oil for a living, like let's just say, right? Then one day he finds that there is a dead mouse in his like huge jar of oil that he was gonna sell that day. Some people might just take that out and sell it anyway, but that oil has then, if it's not a lot of oil, if it's like, you know, a couple liters of oil, for example, then then that oil has then become najas. It's become something that religiously we can't sell. So then if he leaves that out and he doesn't sell that oil, gets rid of it for the sake of Allah, for the sake of not disobeying Allah, because Allah ordered us not to sell things that are najas, not to sell things that are religiously impure, then this person gains reward for doing that, for leaving something out, leaving out the haram for the sake of Allah and not for the sake of the people. And what I mean when I say they might find blessings in doing that, it's possible that by doing that, this person will then find a different way of making money, or will then stumble upon money or more money than he would have garnered from selling that oil that had the mouse in it. So like sometimes when you do make those like tough decisions, or you do something that you're supposed to do in the religion, despite it maybe being like difficult for you in the moment, you will find that there will be blessings in having that sincere intention in some way that you might not have expected. And one way that can really help in having a sincere intention, or really doing anything in the religion, but it can work as well for having a sincere intention, is utilizing your phone. Like, utilize your reminder app on an iPhone. I don't know if like Samsung phones or Android phones have something that's equivalent, but I'm sure they do. Use the reminder app. Like, you can set up a reminder on your phone every day, like, you know, before you go to work or before you do whatever, set it at a certain time. Be like, correct your intention for going to work or something like that, or correct your intention for all your prayers today or something like that. And then it'll stay on your phone screen throughout the day until you've accomplished that task, and then you get rid of it off your phone screen. And if you utilize your phone in that way, you can remember like every single day, I need to correct my intention, I need to do this thing. Okay, so one thing I want to mention as well is that sometimes the devil or the shaitan will play tricks on the person who's trying to have a sincere intention, and will make them do something in reality that is not as good for them for fear of not having a sincere intention. So let me give you an example. As a ground rule, praying the 5 prayers, the 5 obligatory prayers in a mosque or in a masjid is a rewardable thing to do. And so one might be in a masjid, for example, or in a mosque, and then they think to themselves, well, if I pray this obligatory prayer here, I might not have a sincere intention. There are other people around, my intention might waver. I should just go home and pray it at home so that my intention stays pure. This is not the right way to think, and if you do find yourself thinking in this way, then this could be a trick of the devil. Because ideally, the 5 prayers should be prayed in a mosque if one is able. So one shouldn't let the devil trick them into thinking, oh, it's better if I go pray at home to make sure I have a sincere intention. No, rather you should pray in the mosque and, you know, make a conscious effort to purify your intention, to know why you're doing what you're doing and like for what reason you're doing it, and just pray in the mosque because that's religiously what's actually better to do. Now, when it comes to the sunnah prayers, for example, doing the sunnah or doing the extra acts of worship that are not obligatory upon us, those are things that we should be hiding, that we should be not showing in front of the people, and, you know, making sure our intention is sincere, stuff like that. And this is in accordance to what the Prophet taught us. But of course, in terms of the sunnah, there are exceptions. So if one prays sunnah prayer, for example, in a mosque, in front of people, for the sake of encouraging them to also pray sunnah. So you think to yourself, okay, why am I doing this here? I could be doing it at home and, like, you know, doing what's better in the religion, but I'm going to do it here because I know that maybe if somebody sees me doing this, they will also be encouraged to do it themselves. That's a sincere intention. That is a good intention in the religion, to encourage others to do good things in the religion. So if one decides to, you know, pray the sunnah prayer in the mosque with that reason, there's nothing wrong with that. That is a good intention to have. So of course, like, there are some cases where praying the sunnah at home or doing the sunnah at home is better, and there are some cases where if you do it with that intention that I just mentioned, for example, it's a rewardable thing for you to do that sunnah in the mosque or in front of the people. So ultimately speaking, in the end, one needs to have knowledge in the religion about, okay, what are the rewardable things in the religion? What are the things that we should be avoiding in the religion? Once a person knows that, once a person has educated themselves on those things, what is good and what is not good in the religion, that's when they can have a sincere intention, because they can know, okay, this is what my intention should be in accordance to the rules of the religion. Now, another example, kind of going off of the last one I just mentioned, where the person is praying a sunnah prayer in the mosque for the sake of encouraging other people to do that as well. So another example, and it's one that I think is applicable to a lot of us, especially us social media users who, like, you know, post on Instagram and post on different social media platforms. So it's good for us to, like, post on Instagram, for example, daily reminders to people about, you know, praying your prayers on time, or making tahseen in the morning, which is like reciting the last 3 surahs of the Quran, or the last 3 chapters of the Quran in the morning and in the evening. It's good to remind others to do that, and to utilize our social media platforms to do those things, to like encourage other people to be good Muslims. But I think sometimes what happens is that people, they think to themselves, well, I myself don't do this thing on a regular basis. For example, making tahseen, right? It's a sunnah thing. We don't have to do it in the religion. It's not an obligation. So sometimes people won't do it, or they'll do it now and again, but they don't do it every single day, or every single morning, every single evening. They haven't gotten to that point yet. You know, they're working on it, but they're not there yet. And so then sometimes they might think to themselves, well, how can I encourage other people to do this thing? How can I post on Instagram? Make sure you make tahseen when like I don't even do it myself. Isn't that inauthentic of me? Wouldn't that be insincere, because then I'm just telling people to do something that I don't even do myself all the time? That again is a trick of the devil. We should be encouraging others to do good things in their religion, to do things for the sake of Allah, to, you know, perform our obligations, and also do sunnah, to do things that are extra and that are good in the religion. And one should guide others to do good things regardless of whether that person does it themselves. Of course, it's better if we do it ourselves and we teach others to do it. But if we are not at that point yet where we're doing it ourselves on a regular basis, or that we do it every single time, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and teach people and tell people, you know, these are the good things in the religion, these are the things you should do in the religion. That doesn't mean that you should leave that out. No, you should encourage other people to do good, and then also be working on yourself. And maybe by you teaching other people, or by you reminding other people to make tahseen, for example, you yourself will then start to do it on a regular basis as well, because you'll be remembering in that moment, okay, yes, I'm gonna tell other people to do it, I need to do it myself now as well. So yeah, that's pretty much everything on sincere intentions. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope this kind of shed some light on, you know, what a sincere intention in the religion is, what are things that we should avoid in the religion, what kind of intentions we should avoid, and, you know, maybe think of ways that you can remind yourself to have a sincere intention, and kind of encourage you to just learn more about what is good in the religion, what's not good in the religion, what is a good intention for a particular act, what is not a good intention for a particular act, things like that. I hope this kind of clarifies that for you, and definitely if you have any questions, if I was unclear in any part of the video, feel free to leave a comment below and I will hopefully get back to you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I put out new videos every Tuesday. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Assalamu alaikum. سلام الله على الهادي رسول الله صلى